Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. I'm hoping you're all having a smashing Saturday. And if you are finding yourself on this channel for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one every single day at 1 p.m. UK time to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Predominantly, we're going to be giving an overview of the markets and where they're at. You will know we gave a number of altcoin price predictions that were based on technical patterns playing out. And I've had lots of comments saying, are they still valid with the recent sell-off and kind of store box that's taken place for Bitcoin? And the answer is absolutely yes. We will be looking at those. We're going to be relating it to Bitcoin dominance, which is doing the same thing that it always does, going into out of a bear market into a bull market. So we are expecting Bitcoin dominance to roll. This is going to support the altcoins. Altcoins setting up on their own merit technically. And of course, we're watching things like others dominance, which suggests that the altcoins are going to gain ground against the top 10. So we will be looking at that, giving an overview on Bitcoin. I want to start things off really by just addressing what's been causing the sell pressure. We looked at this last Friday. It's basically still this profit taking on the Bitcoin or Greyscale Bitcoin Trust arbitrage trade, which saw Greyscale's Bitcoin Trust trade at a discount to the actual Bitcoin that it represented, which got instantly closed when a spot ETF was approved. And that's why Greyscale are the largest seller. And Greyscale are the biggest holder pretty much of Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you guys a visual of Bitcoin and who holds it. It's interesting. A lot of the government is the US government is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin, along with institutions. And Gary Gensler was kind of trolling a little bit yesterday by bringing that up. So a lot to get into. I don't want to ramble on for too much longer. Let's just start the video off with me giving a shout out to our website, Allincrypto.com. If you guys haven't come over here and checked us out, we try and keep you up to date on all the latest news things, helpful tips. We even released something on how to secure your computer, crypto portfolio, you name it. We actually have now a fully live, working, and used portfolio tracker. So do come over and try this. It is well worth it. It's a brilliant tool. We built it solely for you guys. We don't sell your data. It's totally private and secure. Do consider checking that out. Let's dive into what we have to talk about today. So the 9 ETFs saw another jump in volume today, up 12% versus Thursday and 53% from Wednesday, a rare phenomenon. Also, check out FBTC, seeing more trading than IBIT. Those two are in a legit duel to be the one. But all of them posting huge numbers for newbies, competitors, or competition is making them all hustle twice as hard. So this is fantastic. It's very rare. Usually you see the bulk of a volume on an ETF on the day. And we already know that given previous ETFs, the kind of volume you've seen for Bitcoin and its ETFs is insane. It's far blown away expectations. You've just got Greyscale that, of course, are selling because of the arbitrage trade now coming to an end. So this is huge. He goes on to say, for context, as a group, the Nine's $1.2 billion in daily volume puts them in the top 1% of ETFs. So this is huge with GBTC as well. But even if you single them out, FBTC and IBIT, each in the top 2%. Keep in mind the average age of ETFs in the top 2% is probably 14 years old. So pretty wild. So we've shown the chart. So everything that we're looking at leads us to believe that the cryptocurrency space is going to continue to go up. Bitcoin certainly. And actually, we think altcoins are going to do better during this time period. We think the stock market's going to go up. Bitcoin's going to outperform that. We think gold's going to go up. Bitcoin's going to outperform that. But the interesting thing is, if you look at gold and its ETF or the S&P when it had its first ETF back in, I think it was 1994, gold was 2004, you had this real trend that was then put in place as volumes of money could now flow into it via these vehicles. The same thing is going to happen with Bitcoin. And of course, we know what's causing the sell pressure at the moment. Has everything to do with Greyscale, as I've just mentioned. When will the bleeding stop? I don't know, but this is some serious daily outflows for the 9 to have to battle every single day. They have been doing a great job so far, but damn, it's a lot to ask. So this is Greyscale's outflows. And you can see if we go over to Greyscale's chart, look at the volumes here. Insane. you've got higher volumes here than you did at the peak bull. And you can't see that because my face is in the way. So you can see what we're talking about here. So it is all grayscale. The interesting thing for us is we were actually expecting a rest, regardless of all the fundamentals. And actually, we think this is perfect and is setting us up for further continuation. So we'll look at Bitcoin, we'll look at Bitcoin dominance, and then we'll look at some of the altcoins we gave price predictions for to see if they're still intact and that pattern is still in play that's given us those price predictions. But first, I actually just want to bring up this really cool visual of who holds what Bitcoin. So this is from Swan Media, arguably a very zealous Bitcoin maxi. Between ETFs, funds, private and public companies, governments, and even DeFi, it only comes out to 2.1 million Bitcoin, or 10% of the total supply. The remaining Bitcoin is in the hands of individuals or lost for good. Stay strong, holders. So 2.1 million Bitcoin is a lot. United States hold more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. United States government. MicroStrategy, of course, is the largest company. Grayscale is the largest ETF and institution. You've still got the Mt. Gox. That will forever be something that haunts us in the crypto space in regards to a sell pressure that could come to fruition. Block One, you've got Tether Holding Limited, of course, BitMEX, and then you've got things like Wrap Bitcoin. Ukraine government holds a lot of Bitcoin, and China, which is very interesting, likely from confiscations. So this is interesting and set to exponentially grow. I do think with the halvening, and let's pull up a halvening chart actually, and we'll use GBTCs as we're done with it. With the halvening, you are going to have a real crunch, I believe, in regards to the supply of Bitcoin. It's why these halvening cycles have continued to play out, and we are very, very close. So another compounding reason why we're bullish, remember we were getting in down here, by the way, is because the bulk of what Bitcoin typically does is after the halvening, which is coming up. So it looks good. Everything looks really good. And I think you're going to get a real supply crunch as a result of the halvening that takes place. It's going to be interesting how it affects miners. Miners got absolutely killed this week. Let's talk about Bitcoin, where it's at and where we think it's going. So this is the plan in play. Smaller head and shoulders gave us the 42K. Now you're setting up a broader head and shoulders. And this is how markets work. We showed you a really good example of this with Engine. Let's pull this up. Not this one. Yep. Smaller pattern double bottom, which was Bitcoin's head and shoulders, into a broader one. And then you see continuation. This is sort of the path that Bitcoin is on. It's the path I think most altcoins are going to take. And we've really used this as a good schematic, I guess. So despite Grayscale, despite a macro headwind, which we think will come to an end shortly, which you need to watch the dollar for. But the dollar, we think, is, again, with our macro view, coming down to the lower sort of range that it's been in since 2008, since the Ponzi-onomics really started. This stall box was very much expected. So fundamental news was technically signaled. We didn't know what it was going to be, but we knew it was going to take place. And this is just setting up for a broader continuation pattern. And interestingly, Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, is about to start rolling. So in a bull market, Bitcoin dominance goes down. In a bear market, it goes up. Down in a so let's actually add the total on here to show you that probably more distinctly. Let's put this in. So you can see this, and we'll put it on log to make it a little bit more simple. Bitcoin dominance down in a bull, but it doesn't instantly start off like that. It takes a little while for Bitcoin dominance to roll. Okay, and then bear market, Bitcoin dominance up. Little bit of a store box. And then you can see Bitcoin dominance had a little push, even though this is now going up. And then, of course, in the bull, it goes down. We are now about to see the same thing that we've seen previously, which is going to dictate Bitcoin dominance coming down. And it's on the smaller time frames that that I'm led to believe this. We go down to a 3 daily. We can get rid of total now, and we can remove all the draws that we've got on. You can see Bitcoin dominance has been grinding away. So this means altcoins are going to do well, and is also suggestive of the bull. Look how many times you've touched this. Very grindy, very heavy, a beautiful uptrend all the same. And we got the Bitcoin dominance, even though we were calling Bitcoin dominance or to get back into Bitcoin at 15, 16K, we didn't take Bitcoin as really as a trade. We held a little bit of it, but we were majority altcoins, and probably prematurely. You know, that's a mistake I definitely made. But this looks like a break, and is a break in market structure. Very toppy sort of formation. And ultimately, I think that this is going to top out. And I think you're going to have some sort of a run into this and basically do what Bitcoin did in reverse. So I think you're going to come down here. Something like this is going to take place. But this is going to suggest altcoins are going to do well. Also, we've got others dominance, which is suggestive. Remember, this again was a beautiful chart for us that's played out. This is looking like it wants to turn. And quickly, we'll take a look at the altcoins that we suggested. So one was Polkadot in regards to giving price predictions. You know, we had a $25 target for Polkadot. It's still very much in play. Double bottom variation on a bullish divergence. And then again, similar thing that we've been looking at for Bitcoin. This is still in play. At what point am I wrong? Well, if it runs this left shoulder. Doesn't look like it wants to do that. Some people have said this is a bit of a head and shoulders, but I think it could turn around and look at where all the wicks are. So this is very much still in play. Just to draw it quickly, this is the structure we're looking at. And we're looking for this to turn. Cardano is one, of course. Still in play. Very much so. And this is almost a flag-like structure. We wouldn't want it to run the left shoulder. Hedera. Double bottom formation, which is actually up here. But you are coming into support here, which is perfectly normal. And we do think this turns around. And then, of course, Link, which is the other one that we think is going to do rather well. And these are just some that we've given. We've given a lot. You know, I have a portfolio that if you become a Patreon, you'll unlock. And it's got, you know, nearly over 20 coins in it. Some very, very small. So, yeah, all is still good. All is still intact. It's just a case of following the plan that we've set out and sticking to it. You know, it's given us really great feedback so far, or the markets have given us great feedback so far. And that's really all I've got for you. So, Greyscale dumping internally in crypto. Macro headwinds based on higher inflation, dollar strength, a little bit of uncertainty, although the stock market's doing well. Bitcoin ran into a key level, now forming that head and shoulders. It's also, if you look at it against the, and I've scribbled all over these, but just to show you quickly, against the SPY, the NASDAQ, and gold needing a rest and kind of doing the same thing it's doing on the dollar chart. So everything leads us to believe that the game is still in play. You are just going to have rests and pause. I think this is not. I think this is going to be a lot more short-lived. I think Grayscale's volume is going to run out. I think you're going to have overzealous shorts that get squeezed, and ultimately, once you take the kind of 57K range, you know, it's all systems go. And I think altcoins will be doing better during that time period, based on dominance falling like it previously has done, and of course others and a number of other things and their own technical merit. So that's all I've got for you in this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, like it, appreciate it, so as a comment, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.